I'd like to discuss development of the stance in relationship to the body size. And in order to do this, we're going to kind of take a medium stance between the different deeper stances and the shallow stances. This stance will be developed according to your body size. It's a good medium stance so that you can teach your students quite easily to do the front and back stance, and they're all related. So the first thing that's important is that the width of the shoulders and the width from the elbow is exactly the same. And we show this here. If I put my fingertips flat up against the wall, the outside of my shoulder is exactly the same width. Now we're going to use that width to develop our stance. And we're going to use it to develop our stance because that is the same length of the shoulders and the width of the shoulders, and the same length of the forearm and fingers that the femur, the hip, from the hip bone to the middle of the knee, and from the middle of the knee to the floor. All four measurements are exactly the same. The upper arm, shorter. So, what we want to do in the front stance is this. I'm going to get into a front stance, okay? And we're going to adjust this front stance so that you know what I'm talking about. So, it's a little deep, a little wide. That's okay. Now, what we're going to do is to bring this front knee directly forward, as if I was putting my foot and my knee on the railroad tracks. Now, if I draw a line between my knee and the back of my heel, my knee should be just slightly behind that level. Now we're going to use that forearm and fingers, and we're going to set our stance width here, so that when I stand up, the stance looks like this. Now this stance is easily converted to the back stance, and I'll discuss that in just a minute. When we walk in this stance, we want to maintain the eyes, the shoulders, and the hips at the same level. So that means this leg must stay bent. So as I move up in the stance, the legs stay bent, and then I move out. Okay? This keeps everything on the same level rather than coming up and down, up and down. That makes it difficult to focus on your opponent. Okay? If we can't focus on the opponent, then we have more problems. But if we always keep this stance the same level, I move into the cat stance, I move into the back stance, I come forward, and I work within this plane.